Hello, everyone. Good evening. Got the band back together virtually again. So, going to give you, if I could see my screen, episode 24. We titled this one Broken Axles Ain't No Thing. We'll talk all about that here later in the show. So, yeah, without further ado, hopefully Blair's got some rest from the wild weekend. But Brandon Hall, creator of Scrubbing Tires Media and co-host here of the Throwin Sliders podcast with Mr. Blair Cooper, and pass to you for your introduction.
Yeah, I'm Blair Cooper, driving the 32 Sprint car, axle snapper this weekend. So I feel more like kind of like a cowboy. That was a rodeo.
It was. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to get into all that. Good evening, Warren Rhodes. Appreciate you hopping on. We have, a lot to unpack from the whole night at El Paso County. We got results to talk about. We'll give those later in the show. What else? We got champions, obviously, from El Paso County, all the classes that ran. And then apologies to all of you Phillips County racers. I failed to note, I'll take the blame for this one last week as I was in Richmond. But they had their championship champions crowned, I should say, a week past. So Blair's going to read those off from Phillips County. We got a special guest announcement at the end of the show. And then, Cars Gone Wild. We got a lot on docket. So tell your friends if you do have, I'm going to try this real quick and see if it tags everyone.
People love
maybe.
That. Oh, boom. That worked.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Okay. The goal there with tagging everybody is to get all the champions from Phillips County and El Paso County watching because it's hard enough to win a championship anywhere. So we want to give you a little shout out. So make sure you're watching. Everybody tune in. But let's get this thing kicked off. I feel like we've rambled enough. This season on Scrubbing Tires Media, throwing sliders, hitting the chip would not have been possible without Racing Rowdy Ranch. Want to shout out those who came up to Blair's pit on Saturday, bought some hats. We appreciate that. Took a cool picture with the Cooper gang inside the trailer with the aforementioned broken axle in the background. If you zoom in, you can see that. So we appreciate that and appreciate Racing Rowdy Ranch. Trying to sell out of all the hats before we get some new designs out there, and we're getting close. So again, the holidays right around the corner. Makes a great gift. Everybody likes them. So get on there, racingrowdyranch.com, and we'll play the ad, and then we'll get right into a lot of racing action. So here we go.
Racing Rowdy Ranch was created with one person, one adjective, and one place in mind: the blue-collar racer and the crew behind the scenes. A word that can describe these racers and crews and how they live. Finally, a place where the straightaways and turns are these racers' pastures and hills, all bordered by concrete walls that could share more than their fair share of memories, even after several coats of paint. We are racing. We live rowdy, and we long to be at the ranch, riding for the brand. An apparel company designed to showcase just that, push the limits every day, and be proud of who we are. Visit www.racingrowdyranch.com now to order yours today. Saddle up, strap in, and live rowdy. Proud presenting partner of Scrubbing Tires Media, Throwin Sliders, and Hitting the Chip podcasts.
All right. Well, what's that?
Oh, nice.
Spazzing out or what?
No, it's just the hats. We had a lot of hats. We're seeing more and more of those in the pits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, very cool to see everybody wearing those and buying more. And, just with everything going on this summer, didn't get out as much as I wanted to, but we'll plan on that next summer to take them everywhere we go and be selling them out of somebody's pit. Where do we begin? Obviously wanted to let more people kind of get on here before we start talking about results. Hey, appreciate that, Corey. Shout out to your sweet victory over the weekend too. In his own ride. I did see that hat backwards on Corey Mallow, the Racing Rowdy Ranch. So appreciate that and the support. But wild weekend at El Paso County. Obviously we'll give it to Blair to kind of dissect his weekend. I was super bummed because he had a fast car and he was going for it. But it all started kind of in qualifying with Adam Trimble, number one pill, freaking coming to green,
God.
loops it, and then Gossel. We'll share some of that in the Cars Gone Wild segment. But yeah, tell us from your point of view, kind of
Well,
start to finish.
How many times do you ever see wing sprint cars spin in qualifying? I mean, Adam, I knew when he drew that number one pill, that was going to be the best shot. That was going to be probably the best racetrack. And obviously they had it hooked up, but yeah, Adam spun coming around out of 4 for qualifying with, he kept the motor going and was able to turn it around, go backwards on the racetrack, get another run at it, restart the clock and got a good lap in, ended up on the pole. So I think we went out 14th or 15th. So the racetrack
was the last. Yeah.
Yeah, so there were 16 cars. So there wasn't much racetrack left. But anyway, I just figured we wouldn't overcook it, and I tried to just put down quality laps. We ended up 5th quick, so I thought that was actually
super
pretty good.
Smooth.
Yeah, so I mean, there was one little spot I'd get some bite, but after that, so I knew we were going to have to. They weren't going to do inverts or anything. Wherever you finish in your heat race, you were going to start the mains. So in the heat race, I actually had a really fast car. Started out second row right behind Adam, and thought, man, if it's getting worse and worse, it's going to get slicker. We know that place is not going to come back. And I didn't think it was going to take rubber either. So I was going for it. And I got in there and made up a bunch of ground that first couple laps through 3 and 4. And I guess the last time we went through there, I just was going for broke and try to make a run on at least Cox. And I got up a little bit into the fluff and the moisture was gone. And it just started to slide on me and then ended up collecting Gossel, and then Gossel got hammered. So broke the front axle. Thing was laying there. I thought, I didn't even feel like I got hit hard.
I agree.
So but all the damage did. It blew the shock off. I mean, Dave Booz came up and asked me if I was okay, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't even feel like I got hit. He said, well, the axle's laying on the ground. It's all shocks are busted off. He handed me a piston out of the shock. I thought, oh Jesus. So anyway, thanks to you and my brother and everybody that helped out in the pit. I know James Larson came in clutch, and you guys worked your ass off. We had about a 35-minute turnaround, would you say? 40 minutes at the most, maybe?
I don't even know. Like, I just remember running back to the pits and getting it all. And then I know we had intermission, which was good, and you were supposed to go sign autographs. And well, then I think Bellum came by, said 15 minutes or something. Someone came by and said sprint cars 15 minutes. I was like, man, we hadn't even bled the brakes at that point. I don't know what the time, to be honest, but it was, I mean, for a bunch of dudes that don't do this every weekend, I think we did pretty good. So
right. Well, and that was a different front axle too. So I had just changed, and it wasn't, everything didn't line up, and then it had ripped the pitman arm. It had taken all the splines off that. So all the way back to the steering gear. The steering gear was at full lock, so we had to get everything reset. And my brother eyeballed the toe. So that thing was, and then everybody's going out onto the racetrack, and he goes, I don't have full lock on my front, so I could turn the wheel full tilt, and the left front was barely moving. And he lengthened the rod out, and that's when we were talking in the pre-show. He made a phone call to my mom and said, I might have just killed Blair. He's like, I swear I didn't mean to. He said that thing's hanging on by maybe a few threads. And even Mateka from Trimble's team, he came over there and looked at it, and then he looked at me, and I had my headphones in, and he looked back at my brother, and then he looked at the rod, and it was all panic on everybody's face. And I thought, oh well, fuck it, send it, and luckily it hung on, but it had enough threads in there. But then it was a rodeo from that place was slick to the bone. And we had the car so tight. I think that's one thing. We didn't get the right pill in it, so it was a nightmare. But we ended up going from 15th. I think we started with one behind us, 15th, and then at one point drove all the way up to 7th. Probably had 6 cautions by that point, and I was just I was trying to go where everybody was, and it seemed like 99% of the guys, maybe I saw a couple guys go. Austin Gossel was up to the top a couple times, and I figured maybe we'll lay our own rubber up there. And for about 6 or 7 laps, it worked really good, and then I was just sliding all over and had to tuck in and start driving extremely aggressively. Made some contact with some guys, had some apologies to issue, and but I think most of them knew that's what I was trying to get to the front, especially with that many cautions. We were getting there, and even Haygood was right in front of me, and I could see him getting loose on entry, and we got my car so tight it wouldn't hardly turn, but at least it had a little bite. But
no, it was obviously I was standing next to Tara's dad, Tom, throughout the night up in the stands, and just, with my camera just following Blair, I didn't really get to see anything else going on. Had my sunglasses on even at night, so I didn't get pelted in the face. I still was, but it was just like you said, your car was just, I told Tom, I said, he needs cautions and he needs a lot of them to pick his way through the field. And sure enough, and it was just like when they dropped that green flag after a restart, Blair would just go and like pick off 2 spots and then kind of just start to fade back and like get passed by those same people. And that's when I looked at Tom and I said, something. So obviously we just put the whole front end back together in a whim and didn't have time to, mess with it, tinker with it. But when you got up to 7th, I was like, if he finishes there, that's a freaking win, with what we just had to go through. So it was cool to see you pick them apart and be patient when you needed to be, but be a dickhead when you needed to be. And it was cool to see that. And like I said, I was just glad we got you out there to at least finish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And then to watch Gossel bounce on everything
Poor
but
guy.
the pace truck. If there was one, he would have hit that too. But yeah, he had a rough night. But glad he's okay for everything that happened.
Oh, he got hit. That was one thing. Even when I spun and he got into me, he hit me a little bit, but the guy behind him, he came in and I could just hear it. And in fact, I sent you pictures of the chassis he sent me. I felt bad because really the only time he actually, looking back at all the videos, the only time he even screwed up was in qualifying too. It was just so slick. He jumped the wall and I didn't get to hear that. You guys said it was a banger.
Oh man, Tom and I were walking. I think you had just finished your lap, so Tom and I were walking, and I was probably, I don't even know, right there, where you go off the track. They have that long stretch where they call you on the track. And I'm talking to Tom, and I just hear whack, like a shotgun went off. Not that loud in your ear, but it was loud. And I turn around, I was like, what in the hell? And all I see is Gossel, like his left rear is teetering off the wall backwards. He's facing the wrong way in 4, doing this on the wall. And I'm like, what the hell? And he's like trying to get out of the car. So I just went running. I was like, oh shit. And he gets out of the car and then he looks at the car and then he comes sprinting. And I was like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, fucking thing wouldn't turn, whatever. And I was like, holy smokes. And then later on in the night, he came by and we'll share the photos. But I was like, how did you end up backwards 50-50 grind on the wall and not flip? But yeah, that poor kid with the car. If you recall, a couple weeks ago on the podcast, he said he just got, so it had, I think it was a 55 on the main part of the wing, and then they put the 16s on it. It was every color but
they just
white, I think. The night before. Looked like a damn redheaded stepchild. But he was fast. I mean,
every time we'd have a restart or something, we must have been the hard charger, just passing each other back and forth.
Yes, both of you
caught up in some shit, and then we'd go like after the 3 laps, my car'd start to fade and his would get better.
Right.
He'd blow by me, and then something would happen, and I'd get back by
and
him.
He'd spin out again, and then
he got collected in shit, and I mean it was nonstop for him. But that was how his night went, and it was I guarantee the seat.
Right. I'm not even making this up. Like I bet between, if you went back and dissected the video, between Blair and Brian, collectively, they probably passed 25 cars each. Like it was just back and forth. And it was, I mean, if you were in the stands, which shout out to El Paso County, they seemed like pretty full to come out on championship night. But they got their money's worth just in the sprint car feature. I mean, it was, you hate to see wrecks and stuff like that. I don't think anybody,
nobody got really tore up.
Yeah, the feature of that red car, there's a lot of red cars. I can't remember. He
bounced off the wall right in front of me. He got loose and climbed the front stretch wall right under the flag stand, and that thing didn't quit wreck until he got all the way down into the 1.
Well, that one too, but there was another one similar to that long extended entry pit wall where you come on the track.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but that similar, they had to tow him off, but the left front spindle was broken completely off. Yeah, worst night of my racing. Oh man, Austin, we hate that for you, but it was I will say the perseverance in Austin Gossel. A lot of guys would have just been like, to hell with it after qualifying, and he's teetering the wall. But no, he just kept going, throwing parts at it and going back out there. Your dad, Tara's dad, was the funniest the entire night. He's like, I don't know the rule, and I'm not trying to imitate Tom, but I don't know the rule, but I think if he spins out again, he gets black flagged. I'm like, they're just letting him go. I don't know.
That's only if you cause it. So like,
right. And that's why I told him, I was like, I don't think he's caused anything. He's just wrong place, wrong time every lap.
Yeah.
But Tom was just so funny. He goes, is that Gossel again? I was like, yeah.
Rick Lowry came by and he's like, damn, that poor kid. He's like, I think he hit everything but the lottery tonight. And I was
seriously.
Like, we both just had a, and like the one, so I caused one. That's when on that restart, I got inside on Raider, and I was like, this is my one shot. Because I knew the first couple laps, I knew if I get by him right away, and obviously I have more horsepower. That's a 305. He was probably, after Johnny spun, he was probably the front running 305.
And I hated to see Johnny spin too.
Yeah. So I threw it in there on the restart, and I thought he's going to slide up the racetrack when he stands on it. I was so tight that I was hooked up down there. Well, I about clipped the infield tire, and then I got into him, and it wheel hopped me. I got at least the rear tires all the way off the ground. And when it set down, I was still pointing straight. So I just stood on it, and the motor cleared out. And of course, I was having problems with that thing loading up. But when it got up on the cam, it just ripped the tires off. I know you said you could see like dust shoot 30 feet in the air whenever that thing had come on.
Yeah. It, well, I was like I said, in my phone watching you, and I watched you just rail Raider. And then I like kind of panned off the camera, and Gossel spun around again. I was like, damn it, the poor kid.
Yeah, sorry, Raider. And I had Raider shock on the right front too, so I was like, oh boy, but
yeah. And we were pitted next to him too. I was like, you better not. He's a big dude.
That's my buddy. But yeah, he got it. But I try never to get into guys, but I was being aggressive. Sometimes it's like, well, we got one shot. I didn't want to tear anybody up, but at the same time, like if I was going to get to the door bar, I was going to put it in there. So even Johnny in that heat race, I threw a bomb on him, just backed that car complete, and it slid all the way to the wall and pulled out. And luckily, that was the only place that had to drive off. So it was close all night. Track like that, you don't have much choice.
Yeah, it was. I think you guys, after seeing Trimble go out first, kind of loop it there in 4, coming to his green lap. I think all you guys were you could see it in I would say, Haygood, I feel like he laid down a pretty good lap.
He did.
He was pushing it, but everybody else was kind of like hesitant, in qualifying after seeing that. So, yeah, I mean, great night. We didn't obviously get to watch any other classes, especially with the front axle thing that kind of took the majority of the night. But great weather, great turnout. Like I said, seemed to be no other junked cars that I saw.
Flood flipped. I did see Flood flip, but
did he?
Said he just put the wing off it. Yeah, so I didn't really trash the car. In fact, he was going to try to keep going without the wing, but
I got you. Well, yeah. I mean, there was a ton of car count too. I think you mentioned it, 16 for the sprint cars, a ton of micros. Yeah, I mean, Dorf cars I think was probably the lowest. Then the farm trucks, but I think that was just kind of a fun one for them. So great night. Couldn't ask for anything better. But yeah, I learned a lot. I've never torn apart a sprint car, let alone had to be in a hurry to rip apart a front end. So got the honor to do that. And yeah, thanks for everybody that I think we had at one point 10 people over there handing wrenches and bolts and nuts and holding flashlights and stuff. So very much appreciated.
Parts, so that's always cool. I always appreciate that. So
absolutely. But yeah, I guess we can we'll go into, you want to do results first and then champions, or champions then results?
Go ahead, whatever you think. We can do results. Might as well do the results real quick.
All right. Yeah, we'll go into, so they had the midgets there, which I was really bummed we didn't get to watch those, but Adam Trimble, a couple people, maybe not in the midgets, I guess. Yeah,
four people running double duty, I think.
Double duty, Bradley, Cox, Trimble.
Who-ish.
Okay. Yep. Who-ish, I see that. But yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of people in different cars and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll start with the midgets. They had 14 show up in the feature at least, and it looks like Bradley Cox did not finish. I'm not sure what happened there, but Gary Taylor in the 32 machine from Snohomish. I don't know. No homo? I don't know. Snohomish. Snohomish, Washington was your winner. Followed by the 5D of Adam Trimble from Pueblo and the 91 of Lance Bennett from Aurora. Like I said, really good car count. Enough, I think, all night to have 2 heat races, if not 3. There was an option for the sprint cars to have 3. But in your A-class micro, the 11S of Shyla Ernst from Peyton took home the checkers, followed by the 11 of Zayden Vasquez from Amarillo, Texas, and the 20K of Skylar Keeney from the Springs. And shout outs, I did Want to wave at Chase Spicola. He was lined up on the grid right there, but he had his focus eyes on, so I don't want to mess with him. But I was going to flip him off or something, but I didn't. But he took home fourth in the feature. Restricted micros, excuse me. The 21A of Memory Ashcraft from Calhan. We've been saying her name a lot lately. Took home checkers, followed by the 11S Charlotte Ernst doing double duty. Finished second, and the 9E of Justin Ernst from the Springs finished third in the restricted micros feature. Dwarf cars, like I said, they're a little limited. They only had 6 show up the entire night, and the feature went to the 42C of Kane Weidenbacher from Kiowa, and the 38 of Tyler Greenstreet from Canyon City took second, and the 46 of Matt Trio from Mapleton, Minnesota. It's quite the drive. Finished third. In the Lightning Sprints, the 5 of TJ Trengrove, beautiful car, by the way. TJ, he pitted right in front of us, so I got to stare at that all night. He was your feature winner, followed by the 21B of BJ Sawyer from Loveland, and the 31 of Steve Becker from Lakewood rounded out your podium. And shout out to Troy Ullery. Got to meet him in person. That was cool to see. Came over to the pits and hung out a while. So, yeah, quite a bit. 9 Lightning Sprints showed up. Couple DNFs, but as you mentioned with Josh Flood, but nevertheless, pretty good car count. Into your 600 non-wings, the aforementioned Chase Spicola won the feature event in the non-wings, followed by the 98 of Ed Lebanati from Parker and the 28H of Hunter Finney from Palmer Lake. And
Hunter.
They had, what's that?
Oh, you got to meet Hunter's dad. He came by and talked to us there for a minute.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah, yep.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I should have introduced him. Yeah, I know. That was it. We started we got to get some work done meeting everybody and stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say PSA. The Coopers are very popular. If everybody coming to their trailer doing something, so I was just along for the ride. But yeah, a lot of 600s as well. They were sprinkled throughout the pits, but 11 of those showed up for the winged non-wing. Excuse me. I'm not sure if taking obviously the wings off ain't nothing but a thing. So quite a bit of them out there. In the Warriors, this was kind of a mixed bag. Blair's brother and I were talking about it. They were kind of like stock car looking things. There's like a Mazda out there. I don't really know the rules too much of this, but
and what you brung, I think.
Literally, yeah. It was just like look like stock cars, street cars, things, 4-bangers. I don't know, but the 48B of Clint Adams, I don't know what he drove or what he showed up with, but he's from Trinidad. He won the feature, followed by the 48 of Frank Ogden from Coaldale and the 97 of Chris Johnson, and doesn't have his town listed there. Into your 360 sprints, as mentioned, the 5D of Adam Trimble was on rails. He got a lot of practice at his restarts. And it was kind of cool to see standing in turn 4. Johnny Booz was on his inside or behind him, depending on when it was in the night, but you could tell he was playing with Johnny. Like he'd go early, he'd go really late, kind of late, like just working on that to try to mix it up a little bit. And I feel like when you have a true racer, that's what you see. You don't just go at the same point every time. Like he was making Johnny work for it, or whoever was beside him or behind him. So
yeah, that's you like that. That's my least favorite. My least favorite part of sprint car racing is single file restarts. I don't get it. I think from national level, it's okay. But for you guys, because you're usually on a very small track. So like you're with everything that happened in the heat race, you're coming at a 2 when Trimble's basically taking the green flag. Mm-hmm. And so you're at a huge disadvantage already. So yeah, I think unless you guys are a couple shots at it, like
right.
I get why,
and that's what I was going to say.
Even at the national level, like they get a few shots at it a lot of times, but anymore, I don't know. It just like that's one thing on asphalt. You always get to line them up, and even put the cone out there and let us pick. But I mean, I get it that they probably wad more cars up that way, but I don't know. I hate that. It's like unless you're leading, of course, then I love it. It's like
right. Cool. Well, yeah, get behind me. Yeah.
Keep them back there. Yeah.
I will say like that good example is like going over to the asphalt side for a minute, like pure stocks, super stocks. Not hating on anyone, but naturally, kind of a up and coming, ish lead or class rather. You're going to have more cautions, and if they, make a rule, if there's 3 yellows within 3 laps or 5 laps, then we're going single file. But for sprint cars on such a small track, like it didn't make sense to me. yeah, and I think as a fan, whatever they paid $20-$30 for a ticket, side by side is what we want to see. We don't want to see spread out anything. I mean, congrats to Adam Trimble, but
sure.
No one want to see that. You know what I mean?
Like I said, that's if you're up front, you want it single. But I don't know, and maybe I know guys like that. I don't know if it's just they protect their spot, and you weren't going to go ripping around the top anyway. You were going to pick the bottom, So I mean, I think Austin and I were the only guys really up top.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean,
see everybody,
and that's what makes it like if you watch a high limit show, like you'll see them, and I don't know if I can tell it straight with my hands, but like, say my hand here with my wedding ring on is the lead car, and the guy behind him is kind of laid back a little bit on the single file restart, and he's going to go up here. And when they get the green, like he's already in that second lane, and that's what makes it, if you want to call it, better for a single, because that guy's already, hey, he's down below, and I'm going to go up top, and by the time we get into one, hopefully,
sure,
if you jumped it right, you're going to be side by side. But local level, it's that small of a track, like I said, you were coming out of 2 when Trimble's taking the green. Like that's not fun to watch. But what the hell do we know?
Yeah, well, it was so slick too. I'm sure they're just worried about a guy busting loose on the inside down on the bottom. And that's usually, I would say, National Tour probably would be better at it, just because they're better at dirty air. Like the first time we ever did a double file start at Dodge City, that I'd never been in dirty air, and it was like, holy Christ, that the cars were just going everywhere.
Yeah,
wash up in the corner. But I mean, they obviously know what they're doing.
I was also going to say, like, shout out to all the sprint car drivers too. Like, you got with the track conditions and kind of the stuff going on between Blair and Gossel and everything like that. Like, you guys really did put on a show. Like I think the level of talent that you guys had, I can't remember if I was telling your wife or somebody that, but like you all like deserve a pat on the back for, not looping it every freaking lap and, stuff like that. So hats off to everybody. 'Cause you could tell it was treacherous, and you guys were kind of, if you did go up top, it was like, holy shit, I can't pedal it. And watching your GoPro in-car camera, you could hear it. Like I want to, but it's
and that was what was weird. Like mine having too fat of a pill, because we just didn't have time to change it. And I thought, the air got worse. So we were already at like 7,000 feet on the ADR, and so mine would load up, and then when it'd jump on the cam, that thing was a wicked bitch to hang on to, because it would just all of a sudden when it'd get to like 7,000 RP or maybe 6,200, it would get up on the cam and just unload that thing, and I had to. So I was working in an orchestra, and there was kind of it's fun to watch after. I'm sure it was fun for the fans. It's like my wife even said she had a blast with that one. I'm like, Jesus, I was just exhausted.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But I think Corey's comment there is exactly right. That's the one thing.
Pull it up,
I hate that there's no passing until a certain point. Everybody has to wait to race but the leader, and that's exactly, they get a huge advantage. And in sprint cars, if you're hooked up, you don't need that advantage.
Yeah. No, that I mean, like I said, Adam was just kind of out there for a Sunday drive and practicing his restart, capabilities.
He was going to win anyway. I mean, he was hooked up. But even for the guys behind to get some spots jockeyed around.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really, there was passing probably from 6th on back. Other than that, until Johnny, spun out, there wasn't nothing going on in the top 5. It was all you guys back there creating a ruckus.
Everybody was handling like absolute shit. Bottle rock,
that's a good analogy.
That spring change and everything we threw at it did feel good. It just, I'd never actually been tight on entry, so we took a little too much stagger out, and otherwise the car, if I could get through, it was not bad. So I mean, it's just little things, but it's fun.
I mean, it was fun to watch, and like I said, finishing, would you end up finishing 10th exactly?
Yeah. I ended up getting greedy there. After I got to 7th, I was just like, I'm going to go for it and see if it rubbers up anymore. And
right. But I mean, even that's kind of a win after what happened in the heat race.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was fun.
But Adam Trimble in the 5D from Pueblo was your winner, followed by the 36 of Peter Smith from Anthony, New Mexico, and the 88J of Jeremy Huish from Jetmore, Kansas. Beautiful looking ride too. I think he had an issue too. I can't remember if that was the heat or it must not have been the heat in the main. I can't remember. There was so much action, but he finished third anyway. So a lot of good drivers out there, as Blair mentioned, and 16 sprint cars showed up for the night. So that's pretty good.
That's plenty on Calhan. If you get to 20, it's just, it's so tight and tiny.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying, especially with the single car restarts. But What else did we have? I believe that was that's it. So
Yeah.
a lot of classes, but a lot of good car count too. So it was good to see. And yeah, I guess go through the. You want to do the champions? You want me to do it from the weekend?
Where we at?
El Paso.
Let's see here. Let me pull it up.
I have
Sorry,
the picture.
I have it here.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
For the feature, or you already did that, right? Champions.
No,
oh, you have
champions.
Yeah,
I got the. I can do it.
I've got the Holyoke champion, so go ahead and do it.
Gotcha. All right. So the midgets, the 2024 champion of El Paso County was Gary Taylor in the 32 machine. Moving over to the 360. I guess it doesn't even matter. The ASCS Western Plains. Is it Western Plains or Western Division? Yep. Western Plains.
Western Plains region.
Unfortunately, Blair, call him Blair Hung Money, stepped on it and had a 2-point lead going into it. But the 5D of Adam Trimble took home that with the win, obviously. So congrats, cool. Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, congrats.
Very humble guy, too. So,
yeah, he's awesome.
And then Chase Picola, Scrub and Tires alumni, in the 12C was your A-class non-wing champion for El Paso County. So congrats to him. And then TJ Trengrove in the number 5 was your Rocky Mountain Lightning Sprint champion for El Paso County. Again, like I said, pitted right in front of us. Very cool car. And the dwarfs, is it Weidenbacher? I can't remember his Caden Weidenbacher in the 42C. Yeah, well, it doesn't have. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go back up to the dwarfs. Come on, computer.
Also, Trimble was the RMMRA midget champion too. So besides just County, so he had a hell of a night. But he's such a good dude, and obviously he's, from hometown, so we always root for him. They're good. That whole family is just awesome.
Class act.
So, yeah,
see
guys like
Kane Weidenbacher, my apologies. In the 42C there. Kind of cool to see. So let's see. Trimble won the sprint car race, won the championship. Weidenbacher won the Dwarf car feature, won the championship. Spicola in the non-wing won the feature, won the championship. Josh Flood obviously didn't in the lightning sprints, as we mentioned. Who else we got? Shyla Ernst in the 11S was your A-class micro winged champion of El Paso County. And the restricted micros was Memory Ashcraft. Like I said, we said her name a lot this year. It's well-deserved in the 21A there. And in the Warrior division, I can't see from the picture what Mr. Clint Adams drove or drives in that. But nevertheless, in the 48, he was your Warrior champion. Actually, you know what? I'm reading the wrong thing. No matter, that's why it made more sense. My apologies, folks. Let me go to the points. It had a feature winner picture, but I think.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, Trimble was right. Let me go to. I was wondering. I was like, man, everybody seemed to won the feature that won the championship. But no shit, Brandon, because it's a feature win. Let me go to it. Here we go. All right, Sport Mods. Daniel Payne in the 43 from Calhan, 1 win on the season, but finished first. Stock cars, the 82R of Phil Reed from Longmont with 1 win on the season was your champion. Hobby stocks, 54 of Jacob Worthington from Falcon, 7 wins on the season, so that'll usually do it in a local scene. Sport compacts was the 16 of Leanne O'Lear from Boone, had 5 wins, really impressive there. The Warriors, the 58 of Brianna Worthington from Falcon, with actually didn't get a win on the season, but obviously had some good consistent runs. And I think we're going to have to go to, let's see, Warriors. We're going to have to go to a different page because the other are sanctioned. Obviously, Adam Trimble. Yeah, we'll have to go to ACS. I was not. Go ahead.
Oh, just to interject, it was funny. In the Warriors, my buddy Brian Parks was up there. He started running this year, and we had a conversation about how he was going to run and stuff. And I said, all you got to do when it's this slick, this was before we even qualified. I said, it's just not overdo it. Like there's an egg under the gas pedal and you'll go fast. I said, it's one of those slow to go fast nights. And then in qualifying, I never ran into him again. And I'm glad because he probably just been like, you're an idiot.
Right. But yeah, we got, obviously, as mentioned, Adam Trimble in the Western division for the sprint cars. and Blair 38 back there. I'm not seeing the midgets, and I'm probably in the wrong section of this. I'm all backwards.
Yeah, I knew that was the RMMRA. As Trimble won that one too.
Okay, and then what are we missing? What are we missing from El Paso?
I think that's
the A class is in there, or the micros. Not sure why those aren't posted, but
that's all right.
Are they? What are the micros running under? Just the track?
They have their own series.
Now 600.
600,
yeah. Let me see. Are they done for the?
I doubt it. I imagine if you want to travel, but probably for the local regional stuff, they might be back at I-76 or something. Corey might know on that one, but
yeah, not showing any champions, but nevertheless,
we can tag them in there after. We can put a post.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that was all your track champions from El Paso that don't run in a sanctioning body. Anyway, so congratulations to all of our 2024 champions. Sorry, I screwed the pooch there at the beginning of that, but
we're live. It's tough sometimes.
Well, I was just reading along on that Facebook post, and I was like,
thought
wow.
It sounded familiar too, but usually the guys that are up front are champions, so that's out of line.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wow, man, all these feature winners won the championship too. But then I read in big, bright red letters, feature winners, not champions. So anyway, pass to Blair for maybe he won't screw up Phillips County 2024 champions.
This is a track we talked with Joe too. They're going to try to get some more stuff going here next year. Phillips County, and for those of you who haven't been there, it is a bad fast, big 3/8. So it's a dog leg. It's shaped exactly like Callahan, but just about double the size. So they struggled to get some big races out there for whatever reason. It's a nice facility, but next year hopefully we see some more cars out there and we get some races on the schedule. But for your IMCA modifieds, Phillips County champions, you had Aiden Steffen. So they do run A mods out there too, but Aiden had a couple wins there, won the championship in IMCA modifieds. And then your hobby stocks was Braden Hilser, out of Fort Morgan. He won that one and he had one win. So this looks to be just like Phillips County only. But your IMCA Sport Compacts, you had Brian Moore out of Ellicott, Colorado. That was a close battle too. He was the second place guy. Carson Lang was 4 points back out of Wallace, Nebraska. So they were pretty tight there, and he had 3 wins on the season. For your sport mods, you had Hunter Smith out of Fort Morgan with 3 wins, and he was pretty handily ahead there, 44-point gap. And then out of your IMCA stock cars, Phillips County, Laney Bell had 2 wins there, and seems like they had pretty big stock car fields. So she was your stock car champion. And,
congrats!
Had a really good season. So, they did have Warriors too. Joe Renfro out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. He wrapped it up there, and that was a 1-point gap, 102 to 101 at the end of the season against him and Craig Smith out of Ray, Colorado. So, really close.
Damn it, boy!
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right, so I did see on the now 600s, it doesn't say champions as of yet.
Might still have some races.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they got some.
Yeah, they race a lot. They can race all over the country too, so it depends on how their division's broken up. But
God, they got so many damn divisions. Anyway, your Southwest Kansas region, which is technically us, as of September 14th, alumni in the 12C, Chase Spicola is leading it. I believe Justin Stills looked up A class. Chase Spicola is leading that Southwest Kansas region, 874 points. His younger brother Enzo in the 21E is behind 873, so he's behind 1 point in that division. Yeah, but then it just keeps going on and on and on with all the divisions. So I don't know. Maybe someone can tell us, but it looks like Corey Malo just said, I believe Justin Stoles was your A class micro for El Paso. I'm not sure why it's not showing it, but let me see if it's on the page.
This week.
For Mile High. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, congrats, Justin. I know he picked up about 2-3 wins, if I'm not mistaken, this year. So sorry we're all over the place, but it's hard to keep track of all the sanctioning bodies, and some still are racing. Or have races yet to go. Yeah, there's national championship. Looks like Enzo, shout out, sitting in 10th place in the national standings. So not sure where
out this weekend too. Sound like they were having a good time.
Yeah.
Into the Supercross, I talked to
Yeah.
his mom for a while, and sounds like they had the boy-girl party. So,
yeah, I remember hearing. We won't repeat that. Yeah.
Things to do than racing.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to, right? Have an off week.
She's gonna
bye week. Yeah. We could edit it out. Just kidding. We're live.
There's Rayer.
Oh yeah, there it is. Mile High region as of Saturday. So if that is the championship night, Justin Souls is your winner, followed by Skylar Keeney, Shyla Ernst, Chase Picola, and the rest of the gaggle. So congrats, Justin, if that is your last race. The restricted micros, the 9E of Justin Ernst, as of the 28th as well from the Springs, is your championship leader, if not champion, in the restricted micros. And then, like I said, in the non-wing micros, Southwest Kansas region, we already mentioned Chase, but I'm pretty sure they have another race. So now that we fudged that up, what else do we have on the docket for? Well, obviously we got a special guest announcement at the end of this one.
Cars Gone Wild. If you want to fire that up.
Cars Gone Wild. Yes, I can do that. I am
Mark's
going
just in
to.
time.
Mark is just in time. Let's pull it up to old Austin Gossel here. We're going to try to run through this. All right, Cars Gone Wild. Scotty, listen up here because we got some funny ones on here tonight. So we're just going to start with a couple pictures. So this is the
commentary for this too as you scroll through.
Yeah, they kind of got them backwards in the order. How Austin came to the trailer and did it. He said good, fine, not good, and then shit. That's what I was going to try to do, but they're all backwards. So for the folks there coming into 3, almost into 4 here with Austin on his qualifying lap. So looking pretty good. Obviously, the car, as I mentioned, they picked up there, and was it Oklahoma, the 4-team show. So you got the 16 on the side of it, and then all kind of other stickers and numbers that we don't know what the hell is. So I'll go to the next one, which would have been
shout out Tanner Dillon. That is good. He got it perfect. I saw a lot of good pictures. That Photo Bandit too, Rebecca. She had some really good pictures that I sent you. So we'll post some of these to the page. Yeah,
I didn't have a chance to get yours uploaded to the email, but yeah, very good pictures from everybody. So that's the next picture. Still in good shape. I personally would be kind of shitting my pants at that moment.
Let's just be honest, though. If you've ever been to El Paso County, that is not the line for either of us. We both did. I'm not saying I did the exact same thing. So
yeah. So then that's the next picture. Kind of just gets it too far up there. That's probably the trees. Yeah, exactly. Watching everybody in the pits there. I don't think that's the shot that I heard. I think the shot that I heard was actually this is the next picture. So definitely airborne, all 4 off the ground. Not good. And then I think, well, that might have been
do a kick flip.
Yeah, exactly. 50-50 grind. This is when I turned around and saw Austin, and this left rear is hanging off the wall. And at this point, I mean, this is obviously live shot, but the car had come to rest just like this, and he's trying to get out of the car. And that's when I turned around. I was like, what? How did that even happen? So I'm glad that we have these pictures to depict what happened, because I was like, how do you get faced on the wrong way and 4 up on the 50-50 grind? But yeah,
that was a good one. Tanner stuck that out too, because he didn't know if he was going to stop there. When it gets like that, you never know.
Yeah, but didn't really, it looked like the car was in pretty bad shape, but they went to wrench on it pretty much right away.
It says his grandpa right there, Jerry, commented, new front axle, right rear wheel, and out for the heat. I know my father-in-law, he came by and he's like, they got that car down to the frame. It didn't have wheels on. It didn't have a front axle, and it was all on stands. And so
just right there in the pits, right there, just trailer. So hats off to that team for doing that. And he was back out there. Yeah. What else we got there? Let's see. Scott. I think that was it for Facebook. Yeah, no traction is right. Let's see. Where do we want to start here? I had a couple from the last time we did this. I did want to show this Vapor Trail one that got a lot of wrecks tonight on the Cars Gone Wild segment, but did want to fire up this one. At first, it's hard to believe the Vapor Trails could be this like real, but did want to. Blair sent this one. I think it was a couple weeks back.
Yeah, I love seeing those.
See this guy.
Can you blow that up?
On that thing up top.
You can see him all the way down the front stretch.
Yep. Crazy. Really so cool.
We had at Dodge City the first time I was there, it was so humid, it was like that. But I could actually see them come off the nose wing and right by my helmet. They were stringing all the way from top to bottom,
crazy,
and then they were laying them off the back. It's just cool to see.
It looks like a streamer. Like it doesn't even seem real. What else? We got a picture of me back in the day of lawnmower racing, so we're going to share that one. Of course, you gotta. There we go. Never lift, baby. So if you can picture Austin Gossel in a sprint car, that's what he was the whole night. Just
usually guys win after they're on the show. He's never coming back. He's gonna.
I know. You're the only one that's like really. Nah, he's all right. It was good stuff.
He had a bad night. What else we got? Shit, he's a good buddy.
100%.
Focus off me.
Yeah, no, you did okay. You just, like I said, stepped on it. This one was a bad crash. We'll play this one. I think all drivers were okay from dirt track racing. Just two out there.
This was an exhibition.
Yeah, I was going to say. Obviously 4 years ago now, but not good. Head first. That lady at the end. Yeah, it's probably what me and Tom were doing all night. Let's see. I got a couple funny ones that Blair hasn't seen, but we'll save those for the end. Usually we share them with each other beforehand. So we'll play the midget one that I believe his wife shared. So thank you, Tara, for sending us this one. Oh, it's not playing. Why are we not playing?
No, because it was a YouTube link.
Oh, yeah. Should play it, though. Let me see. If I
pull it up, Jamie.
There we go.
600s.
Carol Mendenhall takes a look to the inside
Big
of
track.
Rob Brown. Around the outside goes Rob Brown. Carol Mendenhall with a good jump off a turn.
And everybody starts crashing.
Geez, that is the 53.
Give it a 10. A fucking 10.
Red.
That hurt my
bones. Yeah. What else? I think there was one other one here from Dirt Vision. Fine folks at Dirt Vision.
Straight to the middle of the racetrack. There goes Dean
A couple
Jacobs
years ago as well.
Up above the cushion, 4 in the fluff. Oh, and upside down. Hard for Dean Jacobs. Oh, my.
These sprint car drivers are nuts, man.
That hurt.
All right, now the two that Blair has not seen. Trying to come up with a catchy Blair's cousin or something, but you'll have to read this one. It's not a video. So our woman of the week is Bethany Ingalls in the I-69 car, and I'm not sharing it. Sorry. Anyway, Bethany Ingalls in the I-69 car. Bethany is pregnant, but still racing weekly stalker class at Weber Valley. Saturday, she got her best finish of the year with the 8th. So there we go with the PT Cruiser. Pregnant. Yeah. Cigarette smoking up.
That page is so funny. They do it. I don't know who runs that, but they must not have a job besides.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Photoshop skills. Yes.
So they're not doing shit during the week. They should probably be out doing track prep, but instead they're making me all day long. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. The Photoshop on their page is unreal, but yeah, a lot of time there. But
AI.
Yeah. All right, last one from official Bad Daddy. Blair's out rollerblading again in Pueblo, so we'll play this one and we'll wrap it up. But if you ever see Blair in Pueblo, you like big dogs because I have a huge wiener. Oh man! Shout out official Bad Daddy. Good stuff.
You love that page. That's your guy.
I do, man. It's so stupid and just so dry, but man, it's so funny. He actually makes his own shirts, so might have to give Blair one of those for Christmas. Yeah, huge wiener shirts. Anyway, that's what we had for Cars Gone Wild this week. Hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot more car wrecks instead of just funny humor. And what was that one week? The triple dippers, whatever we had there. Anyway, so yeah, special guest announcement for next week. I don't know, Blair, if you want to announce that. You kind of gave it all to fruition and found out at the track.
From the stock cars, Lainey Bell, she's going to come on, and we're going to get a little bit. I don't think we've had anybody from stock cars this year, so she's obviously the champ of Phillips County, been running competitively everywhere, and we were excited to talk to her. So got to see her at the pit shack, collected my money, and gave me the shit pill. So we'll be talking about that. But
see what the logic is behind their little, button click on the pills. But Blair got shafted. Not as bad as what's his name got 99 though. Jeez Louise.
Oh, that was Nichols. Yeah.
Nichols. Yeah.
So I know, and he called it too. And it was like,
he did.
It was only 16 of us, and I drew a 48, and he goes, I'm gonna draw a 99. You watch this bullshit. Sure, click the button and drew a 99 out of 100. I was like, that is awesome. So
we been wanting, kind of chatting about with Lainey to get her on here, and just figured it was good, especially coming off a championship, as Blair mentioned. And just wanted to give everybody a heads up too. Next week, Blair and I are thinking be the last episode of 2024 with all the champions now crowned of all the Colorado tracks. So don't want to keep you guys. I know a lot of people are already talking about 2025 and getting their cars ready and stuff like that. So Throwin Sliders, brand new season, brand new podcast, and we're gonna call it quits for 2024 next week, and start working on stuff for 2025. But won't make you cry and get all emotional yet. We'll come up with something for next week. But Player shaves his face too. No, between.
Well, we might. I don't know. We might have to do some special episodes over the winter. Maybe we'll get a couple in, see what's going on.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I'm not done racing, I don't think yet. But if I am, we'll get on here and I'll take pictures, or I'll shave. I told Mark if I didn't win a race or win the championship,
you better do something.
Go baby face. So bet's a bet. I keep my bets.
I can't wait to see this.
Oh, it's good. I'm a chiseled human.
Oh, are you? Okay.
No, I'm a little fat.
No, you're not. Trust me, there's some hefty boys at the track. You are far from anyway.
Sprint car drivers are mostly small. I think Rader's probably the biggest guy. He's not fat by any means, he's just a big boy.
Oh, he's a big dude, yeah.
You even had a hard time getting in my car.
I was just gonna say, man, that was 6'1", and the outlaw car is one thing, but like I feel like there's less room in your sprint car than there is in this outlaw cart. Like
it's like sitting on a toilet.
Yeah, it's weird. Like that part's fun, but you're the knees thing for me, instead of being flat out in front of you as I knock over my mic here, you're kind of like you said, sitting on a shitter, and I'm tall as it is, so that was kind of weird. But Mark, I won't spoil that. If Blair does not win the rest of the year, if he's going out to New Mexico in November, if he does not win, we will play the song that you co-wrote.
We'll play it anyway. Either way, whenever.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can play it next week.
Yeah, it's too good not to. Yeah, so we'll play that. But as far as the regular season goes, we'll call it next week. Can't believe it. It's been wild. What are we at? 25 weeks, 24 weeks? Yeah, 24, and we had two off weeks. So yeah,
it feels like we've done like 6 episodes, honestly.
It really does. Yeah, because we had
better.
When my daughter was born. Yeah, we'll get better eventually. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, I won't get everybody all fired up and start singing "We're the Champions" yet, but start thinking of stuff that you would like to see better from Blair and I next year. Obviously, we got better as the year went on and brought some good segments. Some segments sucked, and we realized that, and take that for what it's worth. But hope you guys enjoyed it throughout the year, and we're looking to have an even better season in 2025. And hopefully I can get back out there and racing and, kind of talk more on that side of things and help Blair more too, because that always gives us something to talk about. But that's it for tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always, and camaraderie and engagement that you guys give us each and every single week. It would be boring, like I said, if it was just Blair and I talking to each other, because we do that over text anyway. So, but yeah, get your questions, comments for Lainey Bellum going now. we'll create the episode this week and give her the hype that she deserves all this weekend leading into next Monday. Super excited to have her and cap off a great season. And I'm sure we'll have to pull something funny and play some pranks on each other next week because it's the last episode. But
yeah,
pass to Blair there. It's it for me. Just appreciate all the viewership and everything the whole year.
Yeah, well, I just have to thank my sponsors too. If it wasn't for them this year, we wouldn't have had a lot of content from my end. We'd have just been watching races. But Spradley Chevrolet, man, every time that you saw that truck I was in again this weekend, they've been huge. And then Prime Milling came through with a couple tires, and my buddy from Novus Glass, Josh Herman here in Pueblo. So some local guys trying to help me out. And they all race too. They're drag racers. And
I was going to say congrats on the baby, Bree and Josh.
Yeah. So I just talked to him yesterday. He's doing good. He was dad alone day. So he said he was walking around the neighborhood. But so thank you to everybody and all my family and friends and my team and crew that helped me out and all the fans for buying t-shirts. Starting to see we sold out except for a couple double XLs. So and then the online orders and everything. We really appreciate the support and we're going to get better. It was a learning year for me for sure. And God, that hurts my ego, but got to learn. And I learned the hard way best. If I don't learn the hard way, I don't learn at all. So we tried just about everything this year. And I think we're finally getting there, but who knows? We may be a rocket ship at some point next year. It might take some time, but if you're thinking about getting into racing, find somebody, ask the questions, do it if you want to do it. Don't sit there forever and say, I wish I would have, because I kind of was like that. And I didn't start when I was a young kid. So you can do it. And if just ask and go hang around the pits and be involved, you never know what'll happen.
Yeah. You might run into us yahoos.
Yeah, and if you don't want to drive, if you love to go to the races, bring a friend, because dirt track racing, it's growing, but it's still on a fine razor's edge. Yep. So you never know. Persons go down, cars disappear, and fans disappear, and then it's all. Yeah.
Good point. Or you could be asphalt side. You could be a spotter, asphalt or dirt. You could be a mechanic. There's never enough hands to help out. Whether you're just holding a flashlight or, like you said, it took a village on Saturday night to, get Blair's front end put back together there. So if you can't afford to drive it, go at least help somebody, because everybody could use the help. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, everybody have a great rest of your week. I believe Jake and Jordan are back again tomorrow night. The champions were crowned again at CNS for those classes wrapping up. Tune in tomorrow night, hitting the chip, 7:30 Mountain. And like I said, be on the lookout for Lainey Bellum next week, Monday, 7:30 Mountain, and we'll get her on here. And go ahead, Blair.
Oh, I was just going to say before the end, I didn't want to forget specifically and individually my wife, Tara. So she busted.
Oh yeah, you about fucked that up.
She's downstairs, and no, she wouldn't have said a word about it. But I think
it
will help us a lot. So I'll get definitely sentimental. I'm getting old, I think.
And your brother too. I mean, he
busted his.
He's the Weapon X. He's
If I keep getting him to come with me, I mean, he sees everything and he tells me the truth.
Oh yeah,
so
he's
holds
good
no
people
punches.
too.
But Austin's legit. So I was glad he got to make it out. Thank God too, because I'm not smart, so I can throw stuff together, but I wouldn't have got it done.
Yeah, it was fun too. Your father-in-law Tom, he puts his head down too, and
he's been huge. And shit, when it's just me, Tom, and Tara, we went national tour racing with our ragtag crew in a CS semi. Yeah. So and hung on. We didn't set the world on fire, but we didn't get completely smoked either. So
he's funny. He just puts his head down and just does whatever needs to be done, and he's good to meet him for sure. Finally,
he's an awesome guy.
Yeah. But appreciate it, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. And until then, have a great rest of your week. If you're competing, I don't know what asphalt classes are running this weekend, but if you are, keep it rubber side down and give Jake and Jordan something to talk about the following week. We appreciate the support, and we'll catch you next time. So until then, keep throwing those sliders.
Peace.
Bye. This has been another episode under Scrubbin' Tires Media. Creator and producer of Scrubbin' Tires Media is Brandon Hall. The Hittin' the Chip podcast is hosted by Jacob and Jordan Smith. The Throwin' Sliders podcast is hosted by Blair Cooper and Brandon Hall. Video and audio creator is Bryce Holcomb. Intro and outro music is owned and produced by Young Troubadour on YouTube. All episodes were created using StreamYard. Thanks for watching, listening, and supporting Scrubbin' Tires Media. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep scrubbing those tires.